her breath caught. Bones, human bones. Boom, boom, boom. Loud knocks pounded on Mofeolowo's wooden door, shaking the small hut. Outside, a deep voice called, "Open up. I do not like to be kept waiting." Mofeolowo jumped from his seat, heart pounding. Amara, his only daughter, looked up from the corner where she sat, her hands tightening around her worn-out wrapper. Visitors never came at night, not unless they brought trouble. When Mofeolowo pulled the door open, a tall man stood before him, dressed in red robes embroidered with gold. His eyes glowed like fire in the lantern light. Behind him, 3 servants carried heavy bags that clinked with the unmistakable sound of coins. "I am Odenigbo," the man said. His voice was smooth but held the weight of command. "I have come for your daughter." Mofeolowo blinked, his mouth parting in shock. "For my daughter?" Odenigbo nodded. "I will marry her. In return, you will never know hunger again." Amara's breath caught in her throat. "Marry? Just like that? To a man I'm just seeing for the first time." Mofeolowo's eyes glimmered to the gold, his fingers shivered. His debts were drowning him. The farm was failing, and here was a man offering him wealth beyond measure. "This is madness," Amara murmured, shaking her head. "Father, you cannot." Mofeolowo raised a hand, silencing her. His decision had already been made. "Tomorrow," Odenigbo said, "she will come with me." And just like that, Amara's fate was sealed. The night was heavy with silence after Odenigbo left. Amara sat frozen, staring at her father. "How could you agree just like that?" she asked, her voice shaking. Mofeolowo let out a deep sigh and dropped onto a wooden stool. "Amara, do you think I had a choice?" he said, rubbing his forehead. "We have nothing. This is the only way." Tears burned in Amara's eyes, but she knew her father's mind was made up. No matter how wrong it felt, she had no power to stop it. The next morning, before the sun had fully risen, Odenigbo's men returned to take Amara away. She barely had time to gather her few belongings before she was placed in a carriage and taken out of the village. Amara had so many thoughts in her head. Why me? As they traveled, an old woman suddenly stepped onto the road, raising a wrinkled hand. The horses stopped abruptly. The woman's eyes, milky with age, locked onto Amara's. "For the bride," she said hoarsely, pushing forward a rope tied to a single, bony cow. "This is my gift to you." Odenigbo's man smirked. "What will a rich man's wife do with a wretched cow?" one of them mocked. But the old woman didn't blink. "This is your blessing and your curse," she whispered to Amara before stepping back into the trees. Something about her words made Amara's skin crawl, but she said nothing. The cow was tied to the carriage, and they continued on their way. Odenigbo's compound was massive, larger than any home Amara had ever seen. Walls made of red clay stretched high, and servants in fine clothes rushed about, heads bowed in silence. But something was wrong. The servants never made eye contact, and though Odenigbo had everything, gold, cattle, and land, his house felt lifeless, like a place haunted by unseen eyes. The cow from the old woman was tied near the gate, refusing to eat or drink. It only stared at the house, its ribs rising and falling in slow, steady breaths. That night, Amara barely closed her eyes before a terrible wailing filled the halls. The sound was high-pitched, like the cries of a woman in pain. She jolted upright, heart pounding. Was someone suffering? She grabbed a lamp and stepped into the hallway. But when she followed the sound, it vanished. The next morning, Odenigbo's eldest servant was found dead. From that day, misfortune hit the household. Cattle collapsed, foaming at the mouth. Stored grains turned to dust overnight. Servants fell sick, one after another, their bodies weak and lifeless. Odenigbo grew restless, his temper rising with each passing day. "This started when you arrived," he hissed at Amara one evening. His eyes, once smooth with confidence, now burned with suspicion. Amara said nothing. She was very confused as well. One night, she heard the cow making low, mournful sounds outside. She slipped out of the house and found the animal pulling at its rope, staring toward the forest behind the compound. A strange pull tugged at her chest. Without thinking, she grabbed a lantern and followed. The dense forest behind the compound felt creepy, with only traces of moonlight sneaking through the trees. Amara moved carefully, her ears sharp for any sound. Then she saw it, a small shrine hidden between 2 trees. A sudden chill ran down her spine. A wooden chest rested in front of the shrine, partially buried in the dirt. Amara slowly knelt and brushed the soil away. Her breath caught. Bones, human bones. She stumbled back, her heart racing. That's when she heard voices. Odenigbo's wealth is paid in blood, a voice shouted. Amara turned around. No one was there. The cow, standing behind her, breathed out heavily. And in that moment, she understood. Odenigbo's riches came from sacrificing young women, and she was supposed to be next. Amara ran back home. Amara didn't sleep that night. Her mind raced. She had to escape. But how? The next morning, she confronted Odenigbo in the grand hall. I know what you've done, she said, voice firm despite the fear in her chest. Odenigbo's eyes darkened. You know nothing. Amara lifted her chin. The spirits know. They are coming for you. For the first time, she saw fear flash across his face. He rushed toward her, but before he could touch her, a deep, low sound filled the house. The cow's voice. Odenigbo stopped as a strong wind rushed through the room. The walls shook, and the torches flickered as if something was stealing their light. Then, a powerful force hit him, knocking him to the ground. And then, with one final scream, Odenigbo was swallowed into the earth. His wealth, his power, all gone. Amara rushed back to her father's village. When she arrived, she saw Mofeolowo gazing into the distance, his face filled with worry. Tears filled her eyes. Father, I am home. Mofeolowo turned sharply, his face filled with relief. He rushed to her, pulling her into his arms. My child, my child. I'm sorry, I disappointed you. I didn't act like a father should. I was greedy. I am so sorry, my child, he cried. Mofeolowo's father lifted his eyes to the sky. Thank the gods, he shouted. Behind her, the cow stood tall and strong. And when morning came, it gave milk, endless, rich milk that never stopped flowing. Mofeolowo never had to worry about hunger again. And the village. They learned that wealth gained through wickedness will always demand a price. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling African folktales. And let me know in the comment, what do you think about this story? See you in the next one.